Right now, somewhere on Earth, a person is running a marathon, 26 miles, and they will finish it. That fact, taken alone, sounds unremarkable. But when you hold it up against the rest of the animal kingdom, something strange begins to emerge. Because you are not built like a cheetah, you are not built like a horse, you do not have 4 legs, or enormous lungs, or powerful haunches designed for speed. And yet, over a long enough distance, you would beat almost everything alive. That is not an exaggeration. It is one of the most counterintuitive facts in the entire story of human evolution. And the real answer for why it is true is far stranger than you think. Start with what your body actually looks like compared to other primates. Your closest living relatives, chimpanzees, are roughly the same size as you. They are stronger, pound for pound. They are faster over short distances, but put a chimpanzee on a trail for 20 miles, and it would collapse long before you do. The reason is not fitness, it is anatomy. Your body was redesigned at the level of bone and tendon and sweat gland, specifically to run for enormous distances without stopping. Anthropologist Dennis Bramble and evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman published a landmark study in Nature in 2004 that changed how scientists understood the human body. They argued that the human form is not an accident of evolution. It is a running machine, and they traced the origins of that machine back nearly 2 million years to a creature called Homo erectus. Homo erectus did not look exactly like you, but it had something no earlier human ancestor possessed. It had the Achilles tendon, that thick cord of connective tissue running down the back of your heel stores elastic energy like a spring. Every time your foot strikes the ground, it compresses. Every time it lifts, it releases that energy back into your stride. It costs you almost nothing. It is free propulsion, built into your leg. No other great ape has one. That tendon was not the only change. Look at your foot. The arch, that curved structure, acts as a second spring, absorbing impact and returning force with every step. Your hips are wider and more mobile than a chimpanzee's, allowing a full stride without toppling sideways. Your head sits directly over your spine rather than forward of it, balanced by the nuchal ligament, a thick band of connective tissue that runs from your skull to your upper back. That ligament does not exist in chimpanzees. In you, it keeps your head from bobbing violently forward with every footfall. It is a stabilizer. It is ancient, and it is only necessary if you run. Your shoulders are different too. In quadrupedal animals, the torso and the arms rotate together as a single unit when running. In you, the shoulders can rotate independently of the hips. Lieberman described this as a counter-rotation system. As your right leg swings forward, your left arm swings forward to counterbalance. This keeps you from spinning out. It is mechanically elegant, and it only makes sense if your ancestors spent an enormous amount of time running upright. Now add the sweat. Most mammals cool themselves through panting. They cannot pant and breathe heavily at the same time because their breathing is locked to their stride cycle. Every bound forces an exhale. You do not have this problem. Your breathing is decoupled from your gait. You can take 2 steps or 3 steps per breath, or whatever rhythm your body needs. And instead of panting, you sweat. You have somewhere between 2 and 4 million eccrine sweat glands distributed across your skin. A horse has fewer, concentrated mostly on the neck and flanks. A dog has almost none on its body at all. You are, by an enormous margin, the most effective heat-dissipating animal on the planet. This matters more than it sounds. Running generates heat. In a sprint, heat generation is not the limiting factor because the race ends before the body overheats. But in a long chase, heat accumulates, and the animal that can keep running while its prey overheats is the animal that eats tonight. This is the theory that has reshaped how researchers understand early human hunting. It is called persistence hunting, and it is exactly what it sounds like. You do not outrun your prey, you outlast it, you follow it, you keep it moving, you do not let it stop and cool down in the shade, you pace yourself, and eventually, after miles and miles under the open sun, the animal collapses from hypothermia, heat exhaustion, its own body turns against it, and you walk up and finish the hunt. Researcher Louis Liebenberg spent years in the Kalahari Desert documenting this practice among the San people of southern Africa, one of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth. He recorded hunts where trackers followed animals for hours, sometimes covering 30 kilometers or more in a single pursuit. The animal was faster in short bursts, but the humans never stopped. They read the tracks, anticipated the route, and kept pace long after the animal believed it had escaped. When the kudu or the gemsbok finally went down, it was not from a wound, it was from heat. Liebenberg argued in his research that this form of hunting is not merely a technique, it is a window into the cognitive revolution. Persistence hunting requires the ability to model the animal's behavior in your mind. to predict where it will go before it goes there, to read a partial track and reconstruct a moving animal from a set of impressions in the dust. It requires theory of mind applied to prey. And that same cognitive engine, the one that let your ancestor model the mind of a fleeing kudu, may be the same engine that eventually produced language, planning, and abstract thought. Your body did not evolve to run for the sake of running. It evolved to run as a weapon, as a tool for converting endurance into calories. Every long-distance runner today is, without knowing it, activating a 2-million-year-old survival system. Look at the numbers clearly. A cheetah reaches 60 miles per hour, a horse reaches 55, a human tops out around 28. In a sprint, it is not even a contest, but a cheetah can sustain its top speed for only a few hundred meters before its body temperature becomes lethal. A horse, even a thoroughbred, struggles beyond 20 miles. The fastest documented persistence hunt covered 60 kilometers. A human walked and jogged the entire distance, and the antelope died. Harvard paleoanthropologist Daniel Lieberman summarized it this way in his 2013 book, The Human Body is a Story of Running. Not jogging as exercise, running as survival, running as the reason you have the legs, the lungs, the cooling system, and the cognitive architecture you carry right now. There is a reason that running feels both exhausting and deeply natural at the same time. It is because your body was built for exactly this. The burn in your lungs is ancient. The rhythm of your stride echoes 2 million years of open savanna. The Achilles tendon snapping back against the ground with every step is a design that survived ice ages, migrations, and the collapse of entire ecosystems because it worked. You feel it most clearly when you push past the first wall, past the initial resistance, and settle into a pace. Something shifts. The breathing finds its rhythm. The legs move almost on their own. That sensation is not a runner's high from endorphins alone. It is your entire musculoskeletal system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Somewhere in your ancestry, a human ran an animal to death under a midday African sun. They did not have a bow. They did not have a trap. They had 2 legs, 4 million sweat glands, an Achilles tendon, and the cognitive ability to model a living creature's mind well enough to predict its next move. That is what you inherited. That is what lives inside every stride you take. The next time your legs feel heavy and the distance feels impossible, remember that your body has been solving this exact problem for longer than your species has had a name. You are not struggling to run. You are remembering how.